Alright, guys, so welcome back to the Traditionalist channel. This is going to be lecture number 3 of the Crusades, Byzantine, Zenith in the Macedonian Age. At the dawn of the second millennium, the Byzantine Empire stood as the premier Christian power under Basil II. In 1001, Basil concluded an alliance with the Fatimid Caliphate at Cairo to protect Christian pilgrims bound for Jerusalem. Orthodox Christianity had secured the loyalty of the Slavic princes of Eastern Europe, hence Basil presided over a wider Byzantine commonwealth. Basil also forged a professional army carved out of a second imperial heartland in the Balkans, imposed his will on his officials and courtiers, and broke the power of the aristocrats of Asia Minor. Few emperors ruled East Rome as effectively, but Basil II ruled in splendid isolation and thus failed to leave heirs. Yet the majesty of imperial Constantinople long endured as a powerful image after Basil's death, influencing Crusader and Muslim perceptions of the empire down to the sack of 1204. Outline: Basil II, by his policies of imperial expansion and forging institutions, allowed the Byzantine Empire to survive the catastrophic defeat at Manzikert, which sparked the summoning of the Crusades. Basil II played an important role in expanding the pilgrimage trade. The curbing of the trade by the Seljuk Turks after 1071 was the immediate cause of the First Crusade. Basil II conquered Bulgaria in 986 through 1016, thereby creating a second imperial heartland in the Balkans. For centuries, Byzantine emperors had drawn recruits and resources from Anatolia. The Balkan provinces, including most of Greece, had been overrun by Slavic invaders in the 7th and 8th centuries. Byzantium controlled the coastal cities of Greece, Aegean Islands, and Thrace, hinterlands of Constantinople. At the Battle of Clayton Pass, Basil broke 2 decades of Bulgarian resistance. As a result, Basil secured the Balkan regions that were rich in mine and forest. The Byzantine frontiers now border on Hungary, giving the empire political access to Western Europe. Basil proved to be an able administrator who respected local institutions of the conquered and rewarded nobles with positions at court. When the Byzantine lost Asia Minor to the Seljuk Turk after Manzikert, the second heartland in the Balkans sustained political recovery under the Comnenian emperors. Basil consolidated the eastern frontiers, particularly on the upper Euphrates. Basil broke the power of the eastern military elite. Imperial frontier and regional field armies were reorganized on the upper Euphrates and in northern Syria. Basil annexed much of Armenia, including the kingdom of Bosporkan, now in eastern Turkey. Armenia commanded strategic routes into Asia Minor by bringing the warring Armenian kings and princes under imperial control. Basil provided a shield for his empire. Basil also feared Armenian princes as allies to Byzantine aristocrats and rebels in Asia Minor, but Armenians resented imperial control. When the Crusades appeared, the Armenians welcomed them as allies against the Byzantines. Basil II, because of his military victories, had the power to break the power of the great landed magnates, the Dianotoi, powerful emperors, since Romanus I had legislated on behalf of the soldiers and the themes and peasants. Legislation limited acquisition of peasant properties by imperial officials, members of the clergy, and army officers. The amassing of large estates by dinatoi, or the powerful, engendered the imperial government access to taxpayer and recruits. Basil's reign was a climax to a series of laws to curtail the power of the landed magnates. Basil II passed his laws after the revolts of Bardas Clerus and Bardas Pocas. scions of great Anatolian families. By these nobles or new laws, Basil II ensured the supremacy of Constantinople over the provinces. Basil II had important dealings with Western European and Muslim powers. Basil II had mixed feelings about Western Europeans. They were useful allies. Byzantium had formed alliances and trade links with leading Italian maritime republics. Basil also saw some Western Europeans as potential foes, notably the Lombard princes, who often rebelled or attacked imperial possessions in southern Italy. The Lombard found support from the Holy Roman Emperor, whose Basil's time was also the king of Germany. In 962, Otto I, the Saxon king of Germany, was crowned Holy Roman Emperor. He claimed all of Italy, resulting in clashes between the German Empire and the Byzantine Empire. To end the enmity, Otto II was married to Theophano, a Byzantine princess and cousin of Basil, in 971. Another marriage alliance was attempted in 1001 when Basil sent his niece Zoe to Venice to marry Otto III. Despite these efforts, the two courts saw each other as rivals. In their frontier wars in southern Italy, Basil and the Lombard hired the Normans as mercenaries. The Normans from northern France were descended from Vikings who had adopted Christianity and the French language. The Norman knights were the finest heavy cavalry in Europe. Ultimately, the Normans carved out their own kingdom in southern Italy, conquering Sicily, and aimed to capture Constantinople. Basil's policy in West were rather disappointing. Basil's policies in the West were rather disappointing. He lacked the money and manpower to reconquer Sicily. He could impose his hegemony in Italy only by alliances, and his structure collapsed after his death in 1025. Basil assumed a defensive policy in the East. 3 times in the 10th century, a succession crisis had enabled powerful Eastern general to force himself on the throne as a co-ruler. Hence, these regent emperors favored expansion in Syria and Armenia. Basil II, who had endured 2 of these regent emperors, halted eastern expansion. Instead, he stabilized the eastern frontiers and brought Armenians under imperial control. In 1001, Basil II concluded a treaty with Fatimid Caliph al-Kahim to protect Christian pilgrims to Jerusalem and Bethlehem. Pilgrims increased because Basil II imposed a peace in the Balkans and Asia Minor. Europeans who could not afford travel by sea could cross imperial domains, then travel safely across Fatimid Syria to Jerusalem. When the Seljuk Turks disrupted this trade, Western Europeans responded with the First Crusade. Basil died in 1025, regarded as the greatest warrior of his age. Most Christians thought of Constantinople as the capital of the historic Christian Empire. The rapid demise of that empire in generation after Basil's death was dramatic and precipitated the First Crusade. Alright guys, so I hope you really liked that video. This was lecture number 3. Remember to share the channel, Traditionalists, hit the like button, subscribe, and I really hope you enjoyed it. If you want, you can leave me any feedback down at the bottom.